The Democratic People's Republic of Korea does not engage in this level of like deifying their leadership. Do you understand? The norm debate traumatized them and created a permanent damage, permanent point of consistent pain in his life, it seems. It's so funny that like his most notable moment was going up against the dude who's written many books on the matter and just getting dog walked, and everybody remembering him as Bonarelli, who is like the debate guy who probably should not have been there. iPad boy. Slime had made the mistake of like saying something that could be perceived as rude by the Destiny fan base, and then they like there was a lot of back and forth where Destiny just like revealed how fucking unhinged and insane he is by trying to be as edgy as possible, to which normal people probably look at and go, oh, that's kind of gross, why are you being like that, is there something wrong with you? To which his fan base will of course react in a very abnormal fashion, where they will be like, no, you don't understand, it's actually you that's abnormal for not having this like not having this rational tank or whatever the fuck. Hold on. Anyway, did you hear the latest Chapo have been interviewing the former higher ed admin? It's so incredibly informative. It sheds a ton of light on why university is so entrenched in Israel. Yeah, it was really good. So of course, like, it doesn't end that way. It doesn't end with like just a couple fucking back and forth takes. There will be, I'm sure, multiple fucking weird moments. Apparently he had some weird ass issues where he was talking about how he's Israel, which I thought was odd. You said out loud that you talk about him 24/7 when you're offline, and the cope he lives is incredible. That's pretty funny. I don't think about him at all, as a matter of fact, when I'm offline or when I'm online, really. Especially if we go beyond the past like couple of months, where his Israel takes have definitely caused me to fucking reply to him directly. Rogan is in the wrong here, to be fair. She's upset let another content creators are paying attention to Palestine now rather than when you and others started covering it. A bit purity testing. I don't know what she said. But I doubt that was what she said. Yeah, you've been covering him a lot recently. Yeah, bro. I don't think people understand the reasons why I did not cover the Divorcelli was not because I was like afraid of him or because he had like supreme rational takes. It was just because it was irrelevant and completely ridiculous, and also his fan base is just like incredibly fucking unhinged. So they just actively cyberstalk anyone and everyone and try to hit every angle of attack they possibly can, including but not limited to virtue signaling about like any and everything that that these people have said, which is always funny because like they say the N-word and stuff. You know what I mean? And it's like, this is a community that like thrives on edgy discourse that will also cry because someone said that, because someone personally said that like he reads Wikipedia. Like they'll lose their fucking minds. They'll fly off the hinges. Like any kind of perceived slight against my favorite content creator is the worst possible thing you could ever do. Meanwhile, we can do anything and everything we want to do to you. And oftentimes a big part of that is also to like go in to other people's communities that is in my orbit or in the orbit of like Ludwig and whatever, and start like additional drama, which I suspect is what you guys are talking about. Yeah, the thinnest of skinned fan bases of all time. What the fuck's your chat doing? Why it looks like that on stream? I don't know. You got SR making jokes now? Vox is an anti-Israel using AI using AI to direct their bombing. I saw that. Actually, the person who made that, the journalist who made that video, reached out to me to thank me for watching it on stream, which I thought was chill. They either try to make your friends hate you or try to cancel your friends, and like clockwork, everyone attaches onto it and takes the bait. Yeah, I know. He went on like an hour and a half rant that he posted at 1 a.m. and basically blames everything on you. Yeah, I think he's losing his mind a little bit. I don't think he understands that it's because like a lot of people in the community like find him and his community to be truly unlikable because of their actions, you know? That's it. Change your fucking behavior instead of spiraling and like reaffirming your commitment to whatever cause you have. And, you know, people would probably want to get along with you. I most likely would not, but all this chains were in your fan channel saying you tell your fans the brigade as if they don't each have 20 comments on each random fan channel. Yeah, it's weird behavior. It's mostly projection. So I guess like him saying he's like Israel is not wrong in the sense that like, well, one, he also is operating on unlimited Islamophobia. That's number one. Two, has apparently a wonderful little segment called Rape Review that his community calls when they look at like victims of sexual assault and find ways to poke holes in their arguments. So that's cool. And last but not least is always doing projection. Does a metric ton of awful shit to other content creators and then personally turns around and says, we are the real victims here actually. Why the fuck does nobody like us? It must be their own personal issues. That I just had a fucking epiphany. I am Israel. I have to deal with these insanely unhinged fucking losers, Palestinians, that have literally always engaged in fucking weirdo attacks against me, terror attacks, while pretending they aren't. That's all fake news. And if it happens, then they deserve it. Meanwhile, their fan bases, citizens, in their friendly fan bases, international support, hold them accountable for absolutely fucking nothing. And then my own fan base, Israeli citizens like Haaretz and B'Tselem, come down on me for every single fucking thing I do. Holy fucking shit. Fuck this. It's Rafah invasion time. Forethought, perma-banning every single random fuck who criticized my takes on Ludwig Cutie, whoever the fuck else in that friend group. I think the best thing that could happen is they all grab a bag of fent-loaded coke so they can go join Slime's OD'd dead fucking dad 6 feet under, make the world a better place and seriously kill yourself in a group. I'm thinking Jonestown, but not tragic. Why bring up my wife or my family or my ex or anything about me constantly? What do you mean you R-worded fuck? These people hit me on literally every single random weird personal attack because they're fighting over eating scraps of Hasan's last dump so they can echo anything they've heard from him constantly. Is just so annoying, and their sycophantic incel fans eat it all up and they regurgitate the same shit. Wait, they're sycophantic incel fans? I cannot believe that the dude who wrote a manifesto saying the N-word, the dude who literally fucking routinely is like shitting on victims of sexual assault, women that get sexually assaulted. He's always there to fucking shit on them. That guy, whose entire fan base is like fucking edgy 4chan trolls, infestation of Kiwi farms in general. That guy who loves being edgy, that said the M-word literally like 2 weeks ago publicly on camera to be, again, an edgy guy. That guy's fan base is not all incels. It's actually everyone else's fan base is incels. That level of fucking projection is beyond anything. The fact that he's like thinks that this is a mass coordinated attack by me is also insane. I don't think he realizes that like many people refuse to talk about him because, you know, his fan base will make people's lives unimaginably bad. Like they just fucking love to ruin people's lives for fun. Is this screen cap even real? That's crazy. Yes, it is. This is from his own like is like Discord basically, but DGG. Fans say everyone copies or takes about anyone who has the same take as if they never interact with you, like Wake. Yeah, a lot of people think he's fucking gross, and that's evident by the likes on Ludwig's tweet. 160,000 versus 12k. Remember when his community tried to spin your Discord messages as you being suicidal, yet here he is completely unhinged in his own chat? Yeah. It's actually so fucking irritating. I need an idea of who's my strongest soldier. He over there, when he says that, he's like looking for people who will go out and engage in cyber stalking and mass harassment for him, by the way. It's funny to think that like all of this happened because Destiny just couldn't be like, haha, that's funny. Because Slime said, Destiny researches on Wikipedia. That's all this was. He said, Destiny researches on Wikipedia on Israel-Palestine. And his fan base went fucking bananas mode. It's like, dude, this is beyond North Korea levels of dick riding, okay? The Democratic People's Republic of Korea does not engage in this level of like deifying their leadership. Do you understand? The norm debate traumatized them and created a permanent damage, permanent fucking point of consistent pain in his life, it seems. It's so funny that like his most notable moment was going up against the dude who's written many books on the matter and just getting fucking dog walked, and everybody remembering him as Bonarelli, who is like the debate guy who probably should not have been there. iPad boy. So Destiny jokes about gooning to deepfakes of streamers. He also said he would have made a joke about Slime's late father if he knew the circumstances of his... Well, fuck me. I feel like I let a lot of people down yesterday on Twitter because of my behavior. I had no idea that Slime's dad OD'd on crack and died in front of him. I would have leaned into that 100,000 times more on Twitter if I knew. I'm sorry for letting you guys down. Anyways, RB gooning to these new cutie deepfakes I got from my friend. I'll call him A for short. I don't want to reveal who it is. See you later. That's some... I mean, that's very cool, I guess. I don't think he realizes that like this is precise. Like the people that you attract when you behave like this are just the absolute worst scumbags of all time. Like your community will be permanently toxic and shitty, and it will be impossible to recover from. The fact that this is like an almost 40-year-old dude who has a child, who is old enough to be able to see some of this stuff, by the way, is very odd. It is very odd behavior. This has got to be bait. There's no way people are like this. I mean, do I think that he's actually legitimately doing this? No, he's just doing the classic, I'm going to lean into this and be as edgy as possible so that I can piss people off. That's it. Like, I don't think a lot of people know how awful of a human he is. I think they just see him in like piffy, short TikTok clips, like shitting on literally the dumbest people on the planet, right? And think, oh, he seems like a normal guy. Yeah, of course he seems like a normal guy when he's going up against a dude who's literally going, you should be able to beat your wife, and that's awesome. Yeah, if he's going up against a guy like that, then yeah, he does look like a normal dude, right? But this is who he is all the other times when he is not in a clippable moment that you can see on TikTok of him just like owning someone. But yeah, overall, like he just, I don't know. He just has like this very weird, distorted sense of justice, I think, where he just truly thinks he's always wronged by everyone. Like, people shit on me for being socialist while rich, right? Like, all the time. It's actually a very consistent narrative. And even then, like, I understand why people say that. I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. I understand. It's just sad. This makes me way more sense now that it sounds like D community was excited to see her respond to the deepfake tweet. Yeah. Yeah. Chat, for those of you who don't understand, the reason why I talked about this stuff prior is because like there was a lot of back and forth between, what is this? There's a lot of back and forth between, I guess like Divorcelli, his community, Slime, for the crime of like making a joke at his expense, and then Divorcelli basically doing what he does, which is open up new fronts of war for no fucking reason whatsoever, and just like shitting on Ludwig, saying that Ludwig is like a people pleaser, and then turning around and like bringing up Cutie for no fucking reason whatsoever, and I don't know, bringing up Cutie like crying during the AI porn saga, and then doubling down and being like, I'm gonna jerk off to your girlfriend's AI porn. Like that's basically what it turned into, where he just like doubled, tripled, quintupled down, and thought that that was like a valid approach to dealing with this. And then Cutie, saying his D statement is right. And basically what ended up happening is just Cutie just said, I'm not going to cover it. It's whatever. Ludwig's a bad fence sitter, but not the worst person. Yeah, I think Ludwig's an overall good person. He is like very brand aware, you know, and he also does try to, he does actively try to be in good company and try to not have anybody hate him. So I do find that really strange to just like attack him personally, because he is like deliberately making an effort not to he's deliberately trying to make an effort not to offend anybody, piss off anybody. And even in certain instances when he does that, he ends up, in my opinion, doing stuff that are just like, oh, come on, dude, you could be a little bit braver than that. But a very odd guy to shit on in this regard, being like, everybody likes you, and you're very, you're very careful with your alliances, and everybody enjoys your company. Everybody thinks you're a nice guy, and you should be more like me, a person that most people are not exactly fond of. You know? Ludwig did make a stupid statement. I don't even know what he actually said. I don't fully understand what Ludwig said. I think it was probably in line with what I just mentioned, though, of him like trying to do the right thing while simultaneously be brand friendly. People say he does it just for the brand leads, but it seems like he genuinely wants to be chill with everyone. Yeah.
Only donated 10K.
Yeah, he asked me a while back, like, what's a good charity to donate to? I saw a clip of D mentioning that video he made about you and the streamers have hard job saga. I think he held a grudge for Lud deleting the vid and exploded. That's such a weird thing to get mad at a whole different person over, especially because like during that whole saga, I literally told Lud he doesn't have to take the video down. He like I personally, not to leak our fucking conversations, but I was like, I literally told him that. He was the one who personally said he wanted to take the video down because it was a sponsor thing, and that like it wasn't a big deal. It was literally brought into the public's eye by people, third parties that have no fucking idea what's going on. He claimed that I forced him to take it down, and it's so funny that he says that because I said the exact opposite, and his own takedown was for his own personal reasons. That's why it's hilarious. But anyway,
because I think it is worthwhile. And if you guys got some extra bread, I would recommend you donate.
Also, leave both Frogan and Lud alone. Jesus fucking Christ. I don't like Frogan's response to this. I think Ludwig said something without realizing that is like genuinely offensive for a lot of people. Not entirely certain what he did, but I think he basically said something along the lines of like, oh, I didn't want to join the creator, YouTube creator thing because like, I just don't, that's not the bad part. It's offensive. Does anyone have the full clip so I can like get a better understanding of what it is?
I find ultimately, like if I were to do it.
Oh, here it is. This is it. Yeah. Here's the dude doing a great thing that's way better than the vast majority of people are doing, but people get mad at him because it doesn't pass the purity test. Insanity. Lud's style is also not to spend 6 hours on an issue, but to stay something concise, which he did here.
A charity thing where the charity thing relies on your donations. It should be something where like 95% of people feel good and are down for it. And like ultimately, regardless of what you think, that is.
I think it would have been better if he just didn't mention this part at all and was like, yeah, I donated 10 grand to the PCRF. Like you should too. That's great. And then moved on. Like when he adds on to this, because he's capitulating to the Zionists, if he said, I'm going to donate, you should too, it'd be fine. Yeah, exactly. But then he goes on and is like, oh, well, I don't have the bandwidth to be able to like duke it out with people, saying that these charities are going to like fund Hamas rockets or whatever. It's like, okay, but at that point, like, why address that? If he had just said like, I just gave 10 grand, to charity, it's great, you should too, and he moved on, literally, who the fuck's gonna get mad at him for that? This isn't an issue with leftists. Your chat is pure Snow White. It's a brown person who is directly being affected by Israel's genocidal campaign. Frogan gets to be mad at her people being bombed. What the fuck are you talking about, chat? Yeah, I haven't even gotten to that aspect yet. Do you remember a couple of years ago when you said Ludwig wasn't Hamas? Yeah, I do. I'm not gonna lie, this whole shit is DGG doctored, and I hate that you capitulate and have to talk about it like it's on the day's docket. Yeah, I know.
Not situation here. So I personally donated 10K because I think it is worthwhile. And if you guys got some extra bread, I would recommend you donate. But I won't throw it on you. You know what I mean? No thanks. And some people are gonna say that. You know what I mean? That's why it's the difference between like, hey, I can put my money where my mouth is, but I don't need to put your money there. I don't need to enter a fucking debate about whether that's worthwhile. I can just tell you what I'm doing. Because I have a future charity thing planned. But like ultimately I decided to go with the classic No Kid Hungry because one, I really like that organization. But two, I know a lot of people have mixed feelings on it.
Yeah, it said it was doing a charity soon, Feed the Children or Save the Children org. They're helping in Gaza anyway, so I'm confused why Morgan reacted that way. No, it's because I know why Morgan reacted that way. I mean, I don't even know how she reacted. I think shit is a cracker ass take or something. Is that what she said? Now everyone's like fucking mad again because despite being white, Morgan is hijabi, you know, a visibly Muslim woman. So of course, like that's a perfect target to unload anytime anybody feels fucking some type of way, especially when she is personally being anti-white. How dare she, right? And a dirty Arab, don't forget that. Exactly. So I think that's usually where a lot of this stuff comes from. Is Ludwig now the enemy or what? No, of course not. I don't personally think so. I think that the reason why people get mad at Ludwig is because or the reason why Morgan got mad at Ludwig and other people got mad at Ludwig is specifically because he said the second part. Like, I donated 10 grand, but I don't want to fucking I don't want to debate this issue with you guys. I want to do something that like 95% of my community agrees on. It's like, dude, you would never do that for like Black Lives Matter. You know what I mean? Even though I actually don't know if he did do that for Black Lives Matter or not. Maybe he did. Maybe he was like, yeah, I don't know. Some people are saying all lives matter, so I don't want to donate. Or I do want to donate, but I'm not going to ask you guys to donate as well. But overall, this is a good thing. He did a good thing. He promoted it as well. No, he didn't do that for BLM. Okay, well, yeah. It's just like the reason why people get mad at something like that is because people think, look, what the fuck? What do you mean? You're like worried that you're going to upset like 5% of your community that's going to be like, yeah, you're literally a terrorism defender now because you gave victims of ethnic cleansing money. Like, that's insane. Those people are going to get mad at him regardless, even though he fucking gave 10 grand. You know what I mean? Those people are still going to get mad at him that he like publicly donated. The reason why people on the other side get frustrated with him though is that like awareness is very important in a time like this, and capitulating to the other side with framing that is like readily available to all, right? Across the board, all the time, readily available in mainstream media, repeating it by, making it seem like there are, making it seem like there are some validity to the concerns coming from the other side is bad. It's not a good thing to say. You kind of like end up owning your own point. But yeah. But it's a good thing that he donated. That's my position. Obviously, it's a good thing that he donated. It's a good thing that he even asked others to donate. I would just wish he wouldn't have said the other thing, and his community seemingly is very much happy with it too. I think he means well, but he's scared about people attacking him and his brand, which I guess makes sense. He's got lots of crazy Zionist supporters. I know. But we should go to Gaza. I mean, he is Hamas, so that makes sense. Two wrongs don't make a right. He was bad in trying to appeal to everyone and not take a real solid stance, but Frogan should have called him that. No, I don't give a shit about like someone being called a cracker, okay? As someone who is white and has like used that word myself, I think that people that are using that to be like, this is a racial slur against white people is like fucking ridiculous. Like, I mean, dude, Morgan is Lebanese, but also like very white passing, okay? It's just that when you put the hijab on, immediately no white person will ever consider you to be white, just like when a lot of people find out my name is Hasan and then decide I am no longer white. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. So ultimately, I think it's silly. It's silly to be like super mad about that. What's the other thing he said? I missed it. I have the pass. Yeah, she's 50% European. There you go. Every time I saw your view count from October 7 go down and you still held your ground, I know you're a real one. And now the views are high again. I mean, it's fine. It's just like, yeah. I think we expect more from people like Ludwig because we know that he's a good person. And he does actually, I mean, look, this is a dude who literally didn't go to fucking, what was it, Saudi Arabia or Dubai or whatever with Red Bull because his community was going to yell at him, right? Like, that's a literal brand unfriendly stance to take in that situation, right? His brand is like shipping his ass out there. And he's like, you know what? I don't want to do this because my community's not going to like it. So it's not like, I'm sure there were plenty of people in his community, the 5% that would have liked him to go, right? And I think that's what it is. That's where, that's why that's why some people are frustrated. But like I said, I think that like getting mad at him is disappointing to a certain degree. To mention that like 5% are gonna not appreciate what kind of charity that you're funding, but there's gonna be 5% for any charity, unless you're like literally trying to feed starving children, I guess. But like non-specific. Here's a charity that we're feeding starving children of non-specific origin. It was Misgive, not him. No, he did that too.
I'm for the children. Me too.
Anyway, this is being blown out of fucking proportion, and I'll be honest, like it's being blown out of proportion for everybody. Lud is very much LTT like, and he clearly treats stream as a business. He's just being much more open about it than most. Yeah, like Ludwig giving 10 grand to a charity and urging his viewers to donate. Period. Right there, end the conversation right there. Who the fuck's gonna get mad at that? If you still turn around and you're like, oh, he's a bad person or whatever, you're wrong, right? The additional capitulation to the potential 5% that will say that he's like funding Hamas or whatever the fuck and not wanting to have to deal with all of that or to deal with the brand fallout as a consequence of that is unnecessary for him to mention because it ultimately goes against the main point that he's making, right? Anyway, Twitter drippy as fuck. Thank you. Gonna keep it a buck. I'd rather have celebrities that know what they're talking about when it comes to Palestine. I wouldn't want someone that doesn't understand a lick of what's going on to speak up because it takes one celeb to say the wrong thing to easily tarnish the movement as a whole. Yeah, except Ludwig does know what the fuck is up. Come on, dude. Like I think he's much more well-read than the average person. Anyway, he was being sarcastic. I was in the stream and Lud barely cared. It's just his chat that freaked out. Yeah, but now it'll be like a much larger thing. Now it'll become a much larger thing. It will turn into like a larger saga because, like, let's be real. Like I said, Morgan is an easy target. Okay, she's an easy target because a lot of people would just be like, look at her chirping. Look at her chirping at someone who's an ally to a good guy, right? Because he's not sufficiently pro-Hamas, you know? But I get it. Will Palestine even see the money? Everything's blocked off for them? Yes. And of course, on the other end of this conversation, many people don't understand. Many people don't understand that, like, when you're in the crosshairs of a lot of other, like, apolitical audiences, the impact on you as a person is fucking awful. Because these people that come into your chat aren't just simply being like, well, you know what? I think that as a activist myself, I have a real disagreement in the way that you went after Ludwig. I find it to be personally unproductive to yell at someone. I do understand where he was coming from, and I think that it was wrong for him to say that, the second part especially, but spending any amount of time getting mad at him when there are people who would never donate a single cent and routinely actually, operate on the other end of that spectrum, advocating for Israel and lying about Palestinians is probably a much more productive aspect of this conversation to be had, is not exactly the fucking DMs that Morgan is receiving currently. She's being called a sand N-word who needs to die and being fat shamed and being doxxed and all this shit. So it's not like the people that come after her are coming after her because they are also personally invested in the pro-Palestinian cause. And these people are not all in these people are not in Ludwig's community at all, in my opinion. I doubt that there are any like massive Ludbuds out there who like on a heel, just on a dime flip and go, fuck you, you fucking bitch, fucking kill yourself or whatever. There's just a lot of people in the space that are really, really, really invested in the drama. Okay. And they're paying attention all the time. Folks are just tied up in virtue signaling their leftism. They can't give anyone the benefit of the doubt. She made herself the target. Stop excusing poor behavior. Yelled at Lud for not being pro-Palestine enough. Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. Actually, I'm sorry. Morgan does deserve to be yelled at by everyone who's, calling her a sand N-word in her DMs and stuff. Yeah. This guy's correct. She made herself the target. Stop excusing poor behavior. Oh, not saying deserve racist comments. Come on, bro. Well, that is literally what it turns into. You understand that, right? Like, that is all this is. It's not like someone is being like, oh yeah, I don't think that is the best possible way to go about doing activism. It's you falling for a fucking bait because someone turned this into the main point of contention. Why did they turn this into the main point of contention? Well, because oftentimes there are a lot of people who like tugging on the drama strings very well. Okay? You are being duped into getting upset. I do not know what Frogan's overall attitude is on Ludwig, but I doubt that she hates him, or I doubt that she thinks he's like a piece of shit or anything like that. Don't defend a racist. Like, you can't defend the top of the hour ad break? Okay, I will eat that. Intentionally misunderstanding what he said. Chatter is right. Hustle, not what he said. Guys, in a situation like this, even if I disagree with the amount of energy placed on Ludwig, okay, because although I do think that what Ludwig said is like ridiculous and he shouldn't have said the second part at all, okay, I'm not going to fucking go out of my way to be like, oh my God, let's, oh my God, I'm going to engage in this pile-on and be like, yeah, you're actually in the wrong when, your fucking family members are being bombed in Lebanon by Israeli forces. Okay? Oh, shit, dude. Hey, you know who I'm going to yell at right now? The person whose fucking family members are under fire by Israeli rockets. What the fuck are you guys thinking? You know what I mean? What are we thinking? And no, I'm not talking about Ludwig's fucking family, okay? Like, what are you saying? What do I always say? What do I always say about like trans people or black people who sometimes will not appreciate your allyship and say that you're a white supremacist or say that you are transphobic? They say that to me all the fucking time, and it doesn't matter, okay? I'm not going to drop it and be like, all right, you know what? I'm transphobic now. Fuck you. Because, trans people decided that I'm transphobic for like what I said about Hogwarts or whatever. Okay. You are not a leftist. Ludwig's family getting bombed. What are you on, bro? I'm on that fucking top of the hour tip. That's what I'm on first and foremost. Okay. I don't think a lot of people have personally internalized like or understood what it's like to be a visibly Muslim person since October 7th. Okay. Chatters don't understand that as Arabs, I can't just stay out of it. It's annoying. I can't fence it because my existence is inherently political. That's why the second part sucks. Yeah. Here's the 3-minute ad break now, by the way, which will suck for many of you who are not subscribed. Okay. There are absolutely going to be instances where someone who you are in solidarity of, someone who is on your side is going to say some shit that and say shit about me too that like I don't appreciate. Okay? But it doesn't matter. Your opinion shouldn't change, and you should always think about the broader context. This is precisely the reason why, like I said, when every fucking there was a moment during the Hogwarts Legacy shit when I personally said that it is silly to try and boycott Hogwarts Legacy and there are more productive ways to protest against it, to weaponize the momentum on Hogwarts Legacy to technically turn around and do a fundraiser for like Trans Lifeline or whatever. Okay. That in and of itself would be a much more valid way to do this. A lot of people said I'm transphobic and a fuck ton of other shit too. And guess what? That I'm not a good ally. I'm a bad person. I'm not a good person at all. But that didn't change my attitude. I understood where that anger and that frustration was coming from, and I empathize with that anger and frustration. And I always try to explain to people that like being someone who defends these worthy causes is not done so that like trans people are nice to you. It's not done so that like Arabs or Muslims are nice to you all the time unconditionally and say, oh my God, thank you so much. Thank you so much, please. Thank you for everything you've done. Your allyship should not be, and this chat is correct, not transactional. Okay? It's the same principle behind why I always stress the importance of like political movements sometimes not being perfect. Okay? Sometimes not being perfect. Black Lives Matter rallies sometimes had opportunists, people that were unrelated to the cause completely, but wanted to like, you know, do shit, right? But it doesn't matter because overall, the Black Lives Matter movement as a whole, as a broader movement, was for correct reasons. Their cause was just. So I focused on the important things. I didn't drop it and was like, oh yeah, I'm no longer defending these guys. Okay? They think you need praise from the people you were advocating for. Exactly. Okay? So for those of you who are now yelling, it's a bad look, period, man. I hope that clip of her does not blow up on social media. It hurts the cause. And your long-winded defense of her won't have the same reach as her shit take. Okay, but you're like willingly saying, I understand what you're saying, but she's still wrong. Okay? Like, what the fuck? What's happening? What's happening here? Hurts the cause. Yeah, dude, it hurts the cause. We should actually yell more at like, again, a visibly Muslim woman whose family members are in direct crosshairs of Israeli rocket fire, who's been, you know, endlessly being harassed with incredible amounts of Islamophobia that we will never understand, especially if you're not, you know, especially if you're not Arab or Muslim personally. Let's go yell at her instead. Okay, yeah, she had a bad moment, you know? I don't give a shit. Do you understand? I hope you get why. I hope you get why I'm saying this. I don't like when people go above and beyond and get real aggro on people who are on our side. I don't think that's productive at all. But I definitely do have, I guess, less smoke and less criticism, especially when they're in the crosshairs by people who are otherwise apolitical but invested in the drama in and of itself. Okay? Be smart. Which is ironic because, like, if you were to look at what Ludwig is doing, I suspect that he will not like go after Morgan and be and shit on her when he easily could, right? He's like, why are you coming after me? I donated $10,000. I'm an ally. Like, well, you don't appreciate like my allegiance, my allyship. You know why? You know why he won't do that? Because he understands the thing I'm talking about. Do you see what I mean? He gets it, which is also ironically part of the reason why I won't be that overwhelmingly critical of him either in this situation. Not because he's my friend and I'm cowardly at not calling out my friends or anything like that. I do call out my friends when I feel like they've done something that I don't agree with. Okay? Just remember, no, it's because it's your friend. Everyone is less harsh with friends. Sorry. Sure. It has nothing to do with the fact that I don't think his heart is in the wrong place, even though he did say something that's like fucked up and I don't think he should have said. But this is something that the problem with some chatters that they refuse to understand what Lud did wrong. Oh yeah. Well, that's why I started off with that with that side of the conversation first. Problem is, ultimately, understand now. I see D fans looking at chatters hitting on Frogan and grinning ear to ear. Yes, ultimately, a lot of people are invested not in the actual causes, the actual issues, but the drama that comes from taking a stance on these issues, and then they move the conversation in a direction that they're comfortable having, which is the discourse surrounding like someone calling a white person a cracker. Like that's a fucking awesome combo to have. If I'm a relatively apolitical person who likes to cut content that's like sometimes slanted on the right? Oh, that's like, thank you for this gift. I will talk about this for a week, you know? Talk about this for a goddamn week, maybe even longer. That's it. Chatters are angry at Frogan for the optics, but also want you to shit on her harder for a take. Exactly. Do you think the discourse that comes out of the broad spectrum of internal critiques and standards hurts or furthers causes over time? Does it service internal issues faster or move the needle faster? It depends. It entirely depends. Funny because, like I said, I like both of the people on this supposed drama. I don't think that both of these people have like legitimate, you know, legitimate anger towards one another, like real anger towards one another. It's all people on the fucking sidelines eating good and their audiences that are greatly elevating this topic. This is all Ludwig had to say about Frogan's response.
But I don't need to put your money there. I don't need to enter a fucking debate about whether that's worthwhile. And the only thing I can say is actually a huge shout out. I didn't mention this when I first did my donation. It was a couple weeks ago. It was because of the student protests. Because I was pretty out. Like I was basically just fucking head down doing my thing, not really consuming much news about Israel-Palestine. But then after the student protests, I did a lot of research and I started looking at a lot of shit. And then I started looking around what a good charity would be. So I think the way that they went about it, the students, was sick. I think that's like a cool thing that happened. And it feels like, it made me feel like, damn, that probably is the fucking right side of history. In general, betting on students is not a bad bet to make.
Damn, dude. He seems to be very upset. He seems to be very hurt and very upset about Frogan saying that was a cracker ass take. He's holding back the tears. Just look at him. This is a much better statement. I wish he literally just said this. Yeah. In the same stream, he told his chat to never act like his personal army for anything. It was about the D stuff though, but the same deal. Yeah. But that's why you won't fucking see his fans going into Morgan's stream and calling her a fucking sand N-word. You know what I mean? That's it. So stop getting fucking duped by people who love farming drama, who don't have a real stance on this stuff, and are just like looking at it from the outside. It's my personal 9/11 that you haven't played Disco Elysium the last 2 days, and EU frog I could stay up past 4 a.m. Anyway, are you a fake socialist? Yes. Here's the extra Ludwig context.
Started it. What are we doing here? Okay. That's unhinged, man. All I'll say, man, please never be my soldier. I mean that so desperately and genuinely. If I ever get to the point where I'm starting to fucking ask y'all to be my soldier and fight for me in the trenches, stop watching me that day. I mean that forever. Never go for bat for me, okay? Never. It is not. Our relationship is simple. I make a video every few fucking days. I stream every couple days. Oftentimes I show up late. And you watch that shit during a lunch break to make the lunch break a little better. That's it. That's the end of the relationship. If you want to pay and get some extra content, that's fine. But the moment I start doing some fuck shit, you don't know me. You don't have to go at bat for me. I'm good.
He's a coward, bro. Be my Fedayeen. Fight for me in the trenches. No, just kidding.
And if one day you're looking at me, you're like, damn, this guy changed a lot. This guy sucks now. Fucking leave. Please. Please. It'll be a wake-up call for future me.
Anyway, is this a fun day, or could you talk about the owner of the CPUSA newspapers as Zionist? Wait, CPUSA? Like the Communist Party of the United States of America? Wait, what? I mean, being perceived this way is crazy. Hasan is some poor New Yorker right now. That's crazy. Okay, that's crazy. There are Hamas tunnels under Ludwig's living room. Is there any good sugar-free energy drink other than Red Bull? I don't even like Red Bull. Unless they sponsor me, in which case I love Red Bull. Joel had a well-stated post defending you on that latest wealth video thing. This attack applies just as much as to any rich Democrats, since they too presumably want the welfare state expanded. So it's always confusing to me when liberals make this argument. The entire argument is moronic. In addition to what you said, it also assumes that conservatives are somehow categorically opposed to the value of charity, and they are not. Concepts like greed are universal. Many conservatives are straightforwardly more hypocritical than a welfare state is like Hasan. They say we should just be good to each other without state interference, and then are not good to each other. Hasan is literally asking for coercion. Also, can I just say, I saw an interview with Hasan where he was like, I don't own stock. I don't own index funds because I don't want to own capital, which I personally find very puzzling, but does speak to someone who does care about practicing his principles, in my opinion. Well, I do have limitations to that. I do have a 401k in areas where it doesn't cover for my retirement, as I mentioned in that video as well. But yeah, people do find that very strange that I don't have investments. What is this? Did you see this? Hamas The Deed has a weekly publication of the Lehi, an armed Zionist militant group in Mount. Wait, what? Hamas in Hebrew, the action or the deed, was a weekly publication in the Lehi. Oh my God. Turns out the ultra Zionists are also Hamas. Yeah, Lindsey Graham's going crazy. I think he's like demanding that Iran and Gaza is nuked or some shit. Anyway, let's finish this.
In worst case, I move on and I move to my bakery. I'm cool with that. But actually, I told Slime this same thing yesterday. Because he was like apologizing, I think, you know, because in part, well, because this all started because of what he said, right? Like I didn't do shit, right?
I hope people understand that like the whole purpose of this entire saga is to punish people for daring to even say anything in the direction of Destiny that his fan base will react this way. Like the entire purpose of this is specifically so that like no one dare defy him. Okay? Even if it's a single fucking joke, even if it's a single fucking joke.
I find ultimately
streamers dog.
Hold on. Even if it's a single fucking joke that people consider too far or whatever, they will react this way. And the goal is to get people to be afraid of saying anything. That's it. What is this? This is content? What is that? Oh my God. I don't know where the fuck Brace finds these guys, man. How the fuck does he find these people?
Crazy. Look, these are all like normal hype people. Look at this one.
Nothing I do is performative. So I'm not going to, for instance, I'll use Hasan as an example. I'm not going to talk to a black person like Trihex and say, hey, the N-word, it's always black. What do you think, black people? What a liar, dude. What a Weasley little liar, dude. What a Weasley little liar, dude. Holy shit, dude. Holy shit, dude. Literally lying. Still lying to his audience. Can someone at least enlighten Destiny that he's literally lying to his audience? What a piece of shit, dude. Holy shit.
America deserved 9/11, dude. I'm saying it.
We're there to partner with them. We're not there doing our own thing. We're there partnering and training
in a video
and
game,
equipping and enhancing their capabilities. So that's part of what we're doing. And the other part is just knowledge. We want to know what's happening.
Like we totally brought it on ourselves, dude. Holy shit. We did. We did in a video game.
Amazing.